The semester is nearly over, and that means that several annual events are starting to pop up on the fall calendar. Find out how Red Raiders attending a recent ceremony headed home with a special keepsake to remind them of their time at Texas Tech.
Holiday shopping has taken over the Lubbock area, including at a special annual market. MCTV's Madeline Coy has a look at how some crafty residents showcase their skills and helped gift shoppers check names off their list.
And the weekend was a lot less busy for Texas Tech athletics, but there's still plenty of action coming up, both before and after the Thanksgiving holiday. MCTV's Elliott Welch has a wrap-up of the latest action and details on this week's scheduling sports.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Elene Khajishvili.
And I'm Abigail Foster. The end of the fall semester is coming up quickly. The Thanksgiving break starts in just over a day, and the last day of classes is next Wednesday.
Even though many students have already left campus for the break, a large group of Red Raiders stayed in town through yesterday afternoon to be a part of a special tradition that has become a regular part of the end of the semester schedule. The Texas Tech Alumni Association held the fall ring ceremony in the United Supermarkets Arena on Sunday afternoon. The ceremony featured students from the university's 10 colleges, university programs, and the graduate school. During the event, members of the TTU Alumni Association spoke to the students about the symbolic importance of the ring and how it connects them to the university. Each student was presented with their ring by Senior Vice President for Alum Engagement, Kurt Langford. Langford followed up the presentation of the rings with some short remarks, thanking those who helped with the ceremony. The event concluded as students put on their rings for the first time and joined in a singing of the Matador song. Sunday's ceremony included the largest number of students receiving a ring during the ceremony since the tradition started back in 1999.
With Thanksgiving coming up this Thursday, the weekly events calendar is a lot lighter than usual. But last week, there were plenty of options for students and local residents to keep busy, including several events celebrating the holiday season. The Coca-Cola Holiday Caravan has been making its way around the hub city, with several stops to help spread the Christmas spirit. One of the first stops on this year's tour was the Food King grocery store, located at the intersection of the 82nd Street and Slide Road. The Coca-Cola truck pulled up in the Food King parking lot last Wednesday, and the public was invited to stop by that night for some festive fun. Attendees had the chance to take a picture with Santa, grab a free gift bag, and some Costa coffee. Guests were also encouraged to help out those in need by donating to No Kid Hungry, a campaign to end child hunger. The special Coca-Cola Holiday Caravan truck was also on display until 8:30, before making several more stops around Lubbock over the weekend. If you missed out on the holiday caravan but would still like to make a difference during the giving season, visit nokidhungry.org.
The holiday shopping season kicks into high gear at the end of this week as Black Friday arrives following Thanksgiving. But for many people around Lubbock, the shopping season started much earlier.
Markets of all kinds have been popping up around the hub city since the beginning of November, including one annual shopping option that gave local residents a chance to show off their creations. MCTV's Madeline Coy made a trip to South Lubbock just over a week ago to see what she could find.
Hi everyone, I'm Madeline Coyne with MCTV, and I am here at Aldersgate Church for the Handmade Holiday Market.
The Handmade Holiday Market takes place once a year at Aldersgate Church here in Lubbock, Texas. The Holiday Market showcases the talented crafts of the church and community members. Embroidered shirts, jewelry, baked goods, and crocheted items can all be found at the church.
I love the holiday market because I can meet so many wonderful people. I get the opportunity to tell people about the items that I make. Particularly young people. That's just kind of where my heart is. Even before it became popular, I've done this, and it's just a passion.
While the holiday market brings vendors and communities together for the Christmas spirit, it also helps support the church.
Aldersgate puts on Handmade Holiday every year. It's a way that we can share our building with the community. We can open it up and allow vendors to come in. But even bigger than that, it's a way for us to support our mission partners and our groups that meet here in the church. They come in, they set up tables, they sell their things, they talk to the community. So it's just a way to get their names out there to help them raise funds for in-house and out in the world things that they're doing.
If you missed the chance to listen to festive music and find handmade holiday gifts this season, make sure to be on the lookout for the next time Aldersgate Church hosts their annual holiday market. For MCTV, I'm Madeline Coyne.
November has brought some unseasonable weather conditions to the South Plains, with high temperatures and plenty of sunshine, but it started to feel a little more like fall this weekend.
Highs only reached the 60s on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and we even saw some much-needed rain to end the weekend. So what's coming up for Thanksgiving week? Let's take a look at the MCTV forecast. It looks a lot different today than yesterday on the MCTV Tower Cam. Sunny skies have taken the place of overcast conditions, and the temperatures are almost 10 degrees warmer than Sunday afternoon. Along with the cooler temperatures, showers and even thunderstorms moved across the West Texas area throughout the day on Sunday. Rain totals were under an inch across the South Plains, with some parts of Lubbock receiving close to 1/4 of an inch. It wasn't much, but at this point, any moisture is welcome as drought conditions continue to increase across the area. Unfortunately, there are no significant chances for rain in the forecast this week. We should see a mix of clouds and sun from now until Thanksgiving, but it looks like it will stay dry through the weekend. Although we won't see any rain, it will feel a lot more like fall for students staying around the Lubbock area. Temperatures are expected to stay under 70 degrees, and there's a chance for a freeze on Tuesday and Wednesday night. Thanksgiving will also be cooler, with mostly sunny skies and highs in the low 60s. Looking ahead, the biggest change of the season may be happening as students return to finish out the semester. A cold front on Sunday night could lead to the first 20-degree lows of the season, and temperatures may only reach the 40s when classes resume on Monday.
Most of the current students here at Texas Tech were born after the year 2000. The turn of the century was a bit different than today, leaving many Red Raiders feeling nostalgic when thinking back to the early aughts. MCTV's Noah McKay shows us how one group recently took inspiration from the good old days to help students get some stress relief while reliving their childhood.
I'm right outside the sub, where inside the ballroom, Student Activities Board is hosting its Turn Back Time event. Inside the ballroom, the Student Activities Board set up several activities, including bracelet and lanyard making, trivia games, and a giant inflatable game of Twister. The event was intended to evoke nostalgia in students and serve as a way to alleviate stress as the semester draws to a close.
It's more of like nostalgia, just like for students to de-stress in between classes. There's some crafts, hopefully they can have fun in Twister, but it's really just to have a break in between class.
Students studying in the sub for the impending finals were drawn into the event as a way to relax and recharge between study sessions.
Well, I was studying, finals are coming up, and then I saw this event and I was like, this would be a good relaxer.
The Student Activities Board has a constant calendar of events to keep people active on campus, and according to Nathan Keown, another Student Activities Coordinator, it can help students feel more a part of their campus community by giving them a home away from home.
I would say the Student Activities Board is an organization that really helped me feel at home on campus, not just through the events that I participated in, but through joining the organization. I met a lot of people and made a lot of friends, so if you're looking for something to join, it's a great organization.
Student Activities Board recruits new members at the beginning of each semester, so if you're interested in getting involved, now is a great time to fill out their form that is available on the website at depts.ttu.edu/sub/activities. For more information on Student Activities Board, you can find them on the Texas Tech website under departments, or you can follow them on Instagram at Texas Tech SAB. For MCTV, I'm Noah McKay. Back to you.
Thanks, Noah. The fall season is starting to wind down for Texas Tech athletics as one Raider team finished up last week and another prepares for their final 2 regular Big 12 matchups.
But the season is still early for a couple of Tech teams on the hardwood, and one other that is hoping to stay on a roll all the way to the national championship. MCTV's Elliott Welch has a look at all those stories in sports. Elliott.
Thank you, Abigail and Elena. The Texas Tech football team is getting some much-needed rest on their bye this week as they prepare for next week's road contest against West Virginia with a spot in the Big 12 championship on the line. But this week in Texas Tech athletics still features 3 major games. I'll also bring you a recap of all things Texas Tech since last Thursday. Let's get started with Tech soccer. Last Friday night, number 6 Texas Tech faced UNC in the round of 32 of this year's NCAA tournament. The Tar Heels came into the tournament unranked, but won the national championship last year and began the season ranked number 1. North Carolina was the first team on the board, with Linda Olmark scoring in the 58th minute. Tech's Macy Blackburn tied the game at a goal apiece less than 3 minutes later, but neither team would be able to find the net again through the rest of regulation or 2 overtime periods. In PKs, UNC made 4 of their 5 kicks, and the Raiders had a chance to tie it on their final shot, but weren't able to convert. The Tar Heels will move on to the Sweet 16 to face number 2 TCU, and Texas Tech will head home following a disappointing end to an otherwise successful season. It's unfortunate it couldn't have gone on a little longer, but congratulations, Red Raiders, on a great year. Texas Tech volleyball is headed home Wednesday for an evening matchup with the Houston Cougars. The Red Raiders come into the match riding a tough 6-game losing streak. They went to Waco on Thursday and fell 1-3 to Baylor, and then dropped their last contest on the road against TCU Saturday, 2-3. Tech hopes they can finally snap the streak against a Houston team that's won just a single game in conference play this season, and is the only team currently below Tech in the Big 12 standings. The game will start at 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Moving on to basketball, the Texas Tech Lady Raiders are set for a neutral site matchup against the Old Dominion Monarchs Tuesday afternoon. Texas Tech remains undefeated on the season, coming into the game at a perfect 7-0 and having clobbered New Mexico on the road Sunday, 82-57. Tech also defeated Mississippi State 69-62 last Thursday. Old Dominion stands at 4-1 on the season, but they haven't seen anything like the Lady Raiders yet. Tomorrow's game will tip off at 4:30 Central Time. As for the men's team, things haven't been going as smoothly lately, but it's a long season and there is a lot of ball left to be played. Texas Tech eked out a 1-point victory Thursday night against Wake Forest in a game in which they came into favored by 9.5 points. But the Red Raiders forgot to show up the following night against number 1 Purdue. The top-ranked Boilermakers are an understandably tough matchup, but that is no excuse for the way Tech played Friday night, as they were dismantled 86-56. Star forward JT Toppin led the team in points and rebounds in both games, and Christian Anderson has also been contributing lately. But the Red Raiders need to play with more discipline, and they could use some help from the role players as well. Texas Tech dropped to number 20 in the latest rankings released today. They'll look to get back on track at home Wednesday against New Orleans. You can watch the game on ESPN Plus or head out to the United Supermarkets Arena to catch the noon tip-off in person. No news from Texas Tech football's camp this week, only anticipation. The Red Raiders are resting and preparing for their final matchup of the regular season on Saturday against West Virginia, where they have the chance to clinch a berth in the Big 12 title game. Tech dropped to 7th in Sunday's latest AP poll, but thankfully it looks like they should hold steady at number 5 in the CFP poll, the only rankings that really matter at this point. If you'd like to watch those as they come out, you can tune in to the 4th of the Playoff Committee's 6 rankings on Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. That's all for today in Texas Tech Sports. Now, back to Elena and Abigail.
Thanks, Elliott. Texas Tech's administration building is one of the oldest facilities on campus. The building is more than 100 years old, opening up back in 1925.
The building features several offices for high-level administrators here at the university, including the president and provost. But a new addition to the 2nd floor may be a first in the admin century of existence. The Evermore exclusive store opened for business at the beginning of November. The storefront can be found in the middle of the 2nd floor lobby of the administration building. The shop features clothing, bags, stickers, and other Texas Tech-themed merchandise. The new store is an extension of the Evermore magazine, which is published several times a year by the university. The magazine features stories about alumni, faculty, staff, and current students. Each publication also includes specialty artwork, and those graphics are featured on many of the items in the store. The ever more exclusive store is open every weekday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The entire campus community is invited to stop by, but it's also open to the public.
So, Abigail, the Thanksgiving break officially starts tomorrow night. Are you headed out of town for the holiday?
Oh, Elena, I'll be camping out in Lubbock. How about you?
I'm going out of town to celebrate.
Awesome.
That's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. Have a great Thanksgiving holiday, and we'll see you next week.